afternoon. Welcome back to another Monday. It's September 20th, 2021. This is the Dojo Live recap show where we take 10 minutes to recap last week's interviews and highlight the things that we found interesting and hopes that you guys will want to check the shows out. If you don't want to check out the shows, then at least you'll get the recap in 10 minutes today. So I'm Tulio Surgusa, broadcasting from Southern California, joined by Kim Lantis in Hermosillo, Mexico, and Carlos
Hey.
Ponce in Cuernavaca, Mexico. Hey guys, welcome back.
Good to be here.
All right. So we had three shows last week, three live shows. The first one was Fear Team from Scratch with Pete, Harvey, and Searsha Sadek.
It's actually the last
CTO and
one.
head of, actually, that was the last show. You're right. CTO and head of growth, respectively, at ProQuoAI. We're going backwards today. It's like counterclockwise. And then we had Disrupting Youth Sports Through Tech with Gary Goldberg, founder and CEO at SquadLocker. And finally, which actually was our first guest, Bridges to Racial Unity, with Michael O'Neill, founder and CEO at GetWellNetwork. So really interesting conversations with all of them. They all had something to offer. I just find it amazing what people are doing with technology in many cases to not only improve the lives of countless people, but literally change an industry, change a marketplace. Which is something.
The shows just
Yeah.
keep getting better and better. Like
Yeah.
each week, I'm like so pleasantly surprised.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
Exactly. So I particularly liked the conversation. I liked all of them, but I really liked the conversation with Michael O'Neill. About bridging racial unity. A lot of the things that they're doing at GetWellNetwork is to provide better services to underserved marketplaces, but also his other foundation that he's created, which is a way to reach out
Gray
and
Bridge.
increase equity, in the world. So really enjoy that, how using technology to help reduce a problem that, well, let's face it, exists, racial disunity, through education, through awareness, through all the things that we need as a species to continue to understand more of each other and bridge those gaps that unfortunately exist today. What came up for
Right.
you guys?
Well, with that show for me, the biggest theme there is connection, right? He was very personal, both with how he started Get Well Network and his own cancer survivor experience and what they're doing to help people through that process, right? Creating connectivity. And then Gray Bridge as well. When it comes to educating ourselves about racial differences and injustices, that's what it's about, creating connection with people who are different than you and how they go about doing that. So it's a great show, very personal, a little raw, and it's great.
I like
I
one.
think
I was going to say yes. I was going to say about ProQuoAI. I particularly like them for a number of reasons. And one is how the fact that even though that we were speaking with the principals at a technology platform or product, right? I found it very interesting how the conversation evolved around anything but the technology part, almost, right? And it was all about the meaty, what I call the meaty part of, or the juicy part of the conversation, about building teams from scratch in a fearless manner. So I think it was a genius way to brand themselves through a topic of relevance, even though they're a branding platform, but we didn't touch on the technology. Just the topic itself was good enough for branding themselves very, very, very nicely. So how the way that they built their remote teams and all that, and how they overcame pretty much everything that all of us have experienced at some point during the pandemic, is like, what is going to happen to me? I work remote, so how am I going to blend in with the team in this new fashion? So the way they covered and talked about it and how they solved it internally at ProQuo was simply great. So I really liked, and I related to that topic due to the problems they had to solve, and everything that we have seen throughout all the interviews that we've done on Dojo Live that are similar. So it's all about the same. It's about being able to work remotely without worry free.
Well, building their team, and I think for them, I really enjoyed their dynamic as teammates. You could see the camaraderie where they respected one another, they learned from one another, were freely able to shift between who was, let's say, the more adequate person to touch on said topic, but equally as knowledgeable. And the proof, that's one of those companies where the proof is in the pudding when it comes to choosing your team wisely and being agile. I think they mentioned 20 times growth in 3 years or something to that sort. So yeah, definitely a company to keep your eye on and to see what they're doing that you might want to consider doing too.
They went from 5 people to 100 with offices in New York, in UK, and then Johannesburg, I think. So yeah, talk about growth, huh?
Well, it also goes to show, some people get concerned about, open, freedom-based organization, no hierarchy. That sounds like chaos, right? But it also goes to show that that's not true. I mean, here's an organization that's created psychological safety for everyone to act like a co-owner and co-leader and participate fully, be themselves, openly speak their minds, and they've had exponential growth as a result of that. So, I mean, and you talk to many other companies that have had similar experience. It's just the proof is in the pudding in terms of it just works. It not only helps people get a sense of feeling like they have meaning and they can belong there and they can make an impact. It helps the business. It's a good business model, folks. The whole command and control structure doesn't work, period. Only works for a couple of people, the people at the top making all the money. So great to have these guys. Then let's talk about SquadLocker. I really enjoyed learning about how they've simplified how teams get their uniforms, how our schools can get their uniforms, how our organization can get their uniform, and learned a lot about the challenges around that. For example, you have to order in bulk because most of the manufacturers require that, right? So you can't just order one shirt for your kid. You have to order 20 shirts for the entire team because until now. So it also goes to show this trend that we're seeing. We've talked to a few companies that have taken manufacturing in-house. They've developed some new technologies that allows them to disrupt that marketplace. We spoke to a fashion house a while ago. We spoke to an e-commerce company that's building their own products and selling them. So that you get more leverage by having the technology that allows just-in-time production, which is something that these large manufacturers can't do. So kudos to them for not only making it easier for people to get the product, but also reinventing how technology can make manufacturing affordable, even right here in the States. You don't have to do it somewhere else. With the right technology, you can reduce costs and still create opportunities right in your own market. So really enjoy that.
And what's really cool about SquadLocker 2 isn't just the cost reduction and the streamlining, particularly for those individuals who are in charge of ordering for teams and or organizations, but the ability to personalize it and the ability to make this accessible regardless of, like you said, the quantity needed. So I really enjoyed that their mission of they just want to bring more joy and equity to sports in particular, but it doesn't have to be just that. Anything representing, any entity. So now, the chess team or the mathematics team or the marching band can get as equal representation and personalization as, the generally speaking larger elements within a team or organization as well.
And that really talks to inclusion. We often talk about inclusion, but that also means, like, for example, the chess team would normally be left out, on getting shirts, right? So this technology enables that as well. All right, we're running out of time. And the other thing I just wanted to quickly say, I really love how some of these companies, they have very narrow focus, right? They're solving a particular problem, not the whole problem. And you can create a whole business or a movement just trying to solve a sliver of the problem. And it's good enough. It's good enough. So kudos to you companies that are realizing you don't have to solve the whole thing. Focus on that slice and do a good job. Okay, what do we got coming up this week? We're almost
let's see what I can do in 25 seconds. Okay, Adeyemo, the founder of Jocko, with alternative business models in today's creator economy. That's on Tuesday. AI and contracts elevating the legal team with Vishal Sunak, the co-founder and CEO of Link Squares. That's on Thursday. And then finally on Tuesday, we'll be speaking with Axiom, Eric Pauls, the CEO of Axiom, 3D software printing 3D printing software platform. That's what we have for next week. And I
Say
did
that 10 times fast.
And that's what I can tell you right now. I mean, I'm sorry, Tulio. You took most of my time, so come on.
It's okay.
Tulio,
We'll cut this and post it properly. Thanks, guys.
Right.
See you tomorrow at 12 o'clock Pacific.
Okay.